Well, let me tonight start with the 4 Dhamma, the 4 Dhamma qualities that is necessary or essential for accomplishing whatever you want to do. In Pali, it is called the 4 Itipata. Translation, the 4 steps to success. The first one is called Chanta. The second one is called Viriya. The third one is called Citta. The fourth one is called Vimamsa. These are the 4 Dhamma qualities that one needs to have if one wants to accomplish or to be successful in whatever endeavor one wants to accomplish. Like if you want to be successful in your meditation practice, you need these 4 qualities, these 4 steps to success. The first one is called Chanta, meaning you have to like what you do. If you want to be successful in meditation, you have to like to meditate. In order for you to like to meditate, you must know the result or the benefit that you will gain from your meditation practice. In order to be able to see the benefit, you need to listen to someone who has already benefited from the practice of meditation, like the Lord Buddha and his noble disciple. So when you listen to the Dhamma talk, you are learning the benefit of meditation practice. Once you have learned that you can gain happiness, peace of mind, and you can eliminate all your mental suffering, such as stress, anxiety, worry, and fear, then if you want this benefit, you will like to meditate. Once you like to meditate, then the second quality will follow. Viriya means energy or effort. When you like to do something, then you will have the energy to do. You'll find it easy to do what you like. If you don't like to do, you'll find it you have no energy, no desire. So first you must like what you want to do. Once you have that, then you will have the energy. You will put in your effort. You will work hard to accomplish what you have set out to do. So first you need to listen to people who have the experience in meditation practice. Then after you have learned the benefit that you can acquire from the meditation practice, and you have also learned how to meditate, then you will like to meditate. When you like to meditate, then you will make the time and the effort to meditate. You will put away other things, because in life you only have so much time to do so many things. So in order to have the time and effort to meditate, you might have to give up some other things. Like tonight, you have to give up some other things that you might normally do. Maybe watching television or going out to some entertainment venue, or do whatever other things that you might want to do. So you will be willing to sacrifice, to give up those activities, so you can come and meditate. So you have chanta, liking what you do, then you will have virya, energy, effort. And then you will also have the third quality, which is citta. Citta means to devote all your time and effort, or most of your time and effort, or as much as you can, to the meditation practice. Because you want to experience the result. You want to experience the benefit that you can get from your meditation practice. Just imagine if you are successful, your mind will be peaceful and calm and happy. And this kind of happiness is better than any kind of happiness that you have ever experienced before. Even if you become rich, become famous, the happiness that you get from being rich and being famous will not be able to compare to the happiness that you have gained from your meditation practice. You have to experience the result of your practice. Then you will have no doubt. Right now, you're just listening. You have not yet experienced the result or the full result. So you might not yet see the benefit. But at least you have heard about it. Now you have to do is to make it happen. In order for you to make it happen, you have to have virya, you have to put in your time and effort. You have to have citta. You have to devote your entire life to the meditation practice. Devotion. You only want to do meditation. You don't want to do other things. That's what is meant by citta. Your mind is focused only on this thing that you want to do. You will not want to go and do other things. If your friend call you up and ask you to maybe go out and play some sports, like go on playing golf or playing tennis, or go to a theater, to a movie, or go shopping, sightseeing, you will not accept the invitation. You would rather spend that time meditating. This is what is meant by citta. Your mind is solely focused on the thing that you want to do, so that you can accomplish and receive the benefit from that thing that you want to do. And the fourth quality is your thought. You will use your thought to think analytically. This is by the meaning of vimamsa, thinking analytically, meaning you have to analyze to see how your practice is going, whether you are moving forward or you're not moving forward. You have to analyze to find out what causes your practice to move forward and what causes your practice not to move forward. What causes your practice to fall back. These are the things that you have to analyze so that you can eliminate the things that stop you from going forward and develop the things that will push you forward. The things that will make your meditation practice successful is the development of mindfulness or sati. Sati means mindfulness. Sati here means you have to focus your mind on only one object. You don't want to let your mind think aimlessly. If you need to think, you only think just what you have to. Like you have to think, what am I going to do today? What you have to do, who you have to meet, and so forth. Once you have thought out what you have to do and make the preparation, you should stop thinking and concentrate on your development of mindfulness, which can be developed in several different ways. You can use a mantra like reciting the name of the Buddha, Bhutto, 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 as you go on preparing yourself to go to do whatever you have to do. Or you can use the activity of your body as the point of your focus. Just focus on whatever you're doing at the moment. If you are walking, just focus on walking. If you are taking a shower, just focus on that activity. If you are getting dressed, if you are combing your hair, putting on your shoes, whatever you do, focus on that. Don't let your mind go elsewhere. Don't think about other people or things or places. Just keep focusing on just on the activity of the body. This is called Kaya Kata Sati Patthana. Using the bodily activity as your mindfulness object. If you use the mantra reciting the name of the Buddha, you are using Buddhanusati, developing sati of mindfulness by reciting the mantra, the name of the Buddha. There are other methods. You can reflect on impermanence, such as your body. You can reflect that my body is subjected to aging. My body is subjected to sickness. My body is subjected to death. I am subjected to separation from my loved ones. If you reflect on this truth, it means you are developing mindfulness. And also for this particular case, you are also developing insight into the nature of the body. If you keep contemplating, keep reflecting on this truth as you go on your daily activities, you can tame your mind, make your mind calm, because you will slow down your desire, slow down your greed. Normally we tend to be greedy, wants to have this and have that. But if we think for a moment that eventually we will die, what's the point of having all these things for? Because when we die, we cannot get anything. We cannot take anything with us. Even this body, we have to leave it behind. The only thing that goes is the mind. So if you use this, you can be developing both mindfulness and insight. And when you have the time to sit and meditate, when you don't have to do anything, you should find a quiet room, some place where you will not be distracted. Sit, close your eyes, and focus on your meditation or your mindfulness object. If you use the mantra, keep reciting the mantra. If you use the movement of the body, the activity of the body, you have to use the breathing. Watch your breath. Watch your breath at the tip of your nose, at the point of where the air contacts the body, which is usually at the tip of the nose or above the upper lip. Just focus on that point and beware of the in and out breath. When you're breathing in, beware or know that you are breathing in. When you're breathing out, just beware or know that you are breathing out. Don't think about other things. Should you have any thought, you should ignore it and concentrate on watching your breath. If you find it difficult to use your breath as your point of focus, you can switch to the mantra if you like. Repeat Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto mentally. And if you find that difficult to do, you can use chanting first. If you can remember some chant, just chant. Like Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa, or Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Whatever you can remember, keep reciting it. You can do it repeatedly. It doesn't matter how many times. The purpose is to prevent your mind from thinking about that person or this person, about that thing or this thing. Because when you do things like that, you will agitate the mind and you will prevent the mind from entering into calm, prevent the mind from converging into one. So this is what you have to do first before you will be able to accomplish the first level of meditation. The first level is called Samatha Bhavana, the meditation for peace of mind, for calm, tranquility, for stillness, no thinking, just knowing without any thinking. When the mind enters into that state, the mind will experience the peace and happiness that is greater than any kind of peace and happiness. Once you have experienced this, you know this is the thing that you will want to have for as much as possible. So you will have more chanta, viriya, citta, vimamsa. You will have more liking of the meditation practice. You will want to devote more time and effort to your meditation practice. You will be single-mindedly with your meditation practice. You don't want to go do other things. And you will use your mind to analyze your practice so that you can improve and move forward. So this is what you need to do. Once you have accomplished the first level, you might enter into jhana, to ubekha, to merely know without having any thought. What you want to do is to leave it alone for as long as possible. Don't force your mind to think, even if you want to develop insight or wisdom. This is not the time to do it. You want to wait for the mind to withdraw from that state first. We have to wait until the mind start to think, start to be aware of the body and the surrounding. Then if you want to develop insight or wisdom, you can do that. But usually, normally, when you first started, you want to maintain your mindfulness. You want to be more proficient and more adept with the meditation for calm first. You want to do it so that you can enter into calm, into jhana anytime you want to. If you come out of jhana and you start to think, and you might think that you are developing insight, maybe your mind can be misled to go think about other things. Instead of developing insight or panya or wisdom, you will start to agitate your mind. So if you cannot yet control your thought, you should try to control your thought, try to stop it first. Even after you come out of your jhana, come out of your samadhi, you should continue on with developing your mindfulness. Keep repeating the mantra or keep watching your body activity. Like when you get up and you want to practice walking meditation, so you concentrate on the walking. You can use the body as your object of concentration. In the case of walking, then you should watch your feet. When you walk on your left foot, just know that you're walking with your left foot. When you're walking with your right foot, just know you are walking with your right foot. Just go left and right. Just keep watching as you walk. The reason why you have to walk is because you have to change your body position. Because if you sit for a long time, your body can get numb and can be painful and uncomfortable. So you want to relieve that numbness, painfulness by walking. After you walk for a while, you might become tired of walking. Then you can come back and sit again. If you have nothing else to do, try to sit as much as you can until you know how to enter into jhana. You should be able to enter into jhana quickly, like 5 minutes or 10 minutes at the most. Once you are proficient or adept with your meditation for jhana, then you can go on to the next step. You can go and meditate for insight. Meditating for insight is different from meditating for calm. When you're meditating for calm, you want to stop your thinking. You don't want to think at all. You want to rest your mind, to keep the mind content and happy. But when you develop insight, you have to think. But you have to think in the way of the truth. Namely, you have to think of the three characteristics of all existing things, like the body and your body and other people's body. They have the three characteristics. Anicca, meaning impermanent. They are temporary. They rise, they remain for a while, then they cease, they disappear. The body, after birth, it will grow up, and after having grown up fully, it will become old, it will become sick, and then it will die. This is what you have to reflect or contemplate on. Not just the body, everything that you have, including all the external possessions, like your wealth, your money, your houses, your spouses, your family, your job, everything. You will eventually have to lose them. If you contemplate and remind yourself that this is what you will have to go through, then your mind will not cling to them. Your mind will prepare for the eventuality when you will have to depart from them. When the mind is ready to depart, prepare to depart by not clinging to them. When the time comes to separate, the mind will do it peacefully, without having any sadness or stress. So this is what you want to do, to teach your mind, to forewarn your mind of the things that will happen in the future. And the future can be any time, because no one can predict when will this thing happen. That's why it is called anatta. You don't know when it's going to happen. You cannot manage them and tell them to leave you at a certain time. Like your body, you cannot say, the body should leave me at the age of 80 or 90 or whatever, because the body can leave you anytime. So you must be prepared by constantly reminding your mind of this truth. Once the mind has fully absorbed this truth, it will not resist the truth. It will not deny the truth. It will accept the truth peacefully. So this is the way of getting rid of your stress and mental suffering, by teaching your mind the truth of everything that you have in your possession, that they sooner or later, one day, they will leave you or you will leave them. But you will not leave with sadness, because if you have samadhi, if you have developed jhana, the jhana will protect your mind, will feed your mind with happiness, internal happiness. So losing anything would not affect your mind at all. Your mind will be constantly peaceful and happy. So first you must develop jhana first, in order to have this peace of mind and happiness, so that you can withstand or endure your losses when they happen. These are the two steps that you have to develop if you want to be successful like the Buddha and his enlightened disciple. This is what they did, and this is what they taught us to do. If we follow what they teach and what they did, we will also be like them. We will be free from stress, anxiety, worry, fear. We will always be peaceful and happy, regardless of whatever might happen. Because we know that we don't need anything anymore. We have what we need, what we want is the happiness that arises from peace of mind. The happiness that arises from letting go of everything. So this is what you will have to do. First you must develop the 4 Itibata: Chanta, Viriya, Citta, Vimamsa. Chanta is you have to like what you do. Like if you meditate, you have to like to meditate. Then you will have the heart, the mind to put in the time and the effort. You will have Viriya, and you will have devotion, Citta. You will devote all your time to this practice, and you will think analytically to figure out what is making you moving forward and what is holding you back. For example, right now you can only meditate for a little while, maybe once a week, or if you are more serious, you might meditate every day. But since you still have to go to work, you might only be able to meditate once in the morning before you go to work, and once in the evening when you come home from work before you go to bed. Sometimes you might not feel like doing it because you might feel tired from working. So instead of meditating, you might want to watch a movie instead, just for relaxation. So you'll find that working is the hindrance to your progress, because you have little time to meditate. If you want more time, you might have to work less hours. So you might have to be willing to accept lesser income in order to manage your life with lesser income. You might have to spend less. You might have to use less money. So you have to think, what should I do? You might have to give up a certain kind of activity that requires you to spend money, so you can have the time to meditate, so you don't have to work too hard, spend too much time working. This is what we call vimamsa. thinking analytically concerning your practice. What is moving you forward? What is pulling you back? So you must eliminate what is pulling you back and support what is pushing you forward. This is the things that you have to do. You will find that by developing mindfulness continually is the thing that will push you forward in your meditation practice. So you want to have more time for developing your mindfulness. And to be successful in developing your mindfulness, you need to be alone. You need to be free from other kind of activity, like working. So this is something that you will have to analyze so that you can go forward. If you just practice blindly without not knowing what is helping you and what is resisting you, then you will not succeed in your meditation practice. So this is what you have to do. Develop the 4 steps to success, the 4 itibata. Chanta, Viriya, Citta, Vimamsa. Once you have this, then you will be able to develop mindfulness. And when you have mindfulness, when you sit in meditation, your mind will be focused on one object, and your mind will fall into calm. Your mind will become one, become the knower. Your thinking will stop, and you will find peace and happiness from that state of mind. And you want to do this again and again as much as you can until you become proficient. You can sit and become peaceful and calm easily and quickly. Once you have this, then the next step is to contemplate on the 3 characteristics of things. When you are not sitting in meditation, when you are not in that peaceful state, when you withdraw from that peaceful state, and when you start to think, don't let your mind think about making money, making more money, making more happiness from people around you, or from things that you buy, because they are all delusional or illusional happiness. They are not real happiness. They last very briefly, and they leave you empty-handed, leave you empty, makes you want to have more of it. And no matter how much you have, how many times you have them, you will still feel the same thing afterward. So you must not let your mind think about those things. Instead, you should think about them as impermanent, that they will only create more stress for you, because you will have more desire for them. And when you have desire, you cannot remain peaceful and calm. So this is what you have to think. Think of everything that you want to have, want to do, as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca means they are temporary. Dukkha means they don't give you happiness. They give you stress. They give you worry, anxiety, and fear. Anatta, you cannot stop them. You cannot manage them all the time. You cannot control them all the time. You cannot tell them to give you only happiness, because they will leave you sooner or later. So this is what you do after you have developed samatha or jhana and become proficient with this practice. Then when you come out of jhana, then you can develop insight by contemplating on the three characteristics, on everything that you possess, so that you will not cling to them, so that you will not depend on them, rely on them for making you happy, because you can be happy with your jhana, and that's all you need, is peace of mind, calm, which you can maintain using mindfulness. Once the mind has stopped clinging to everything, stop have any desire for anything, then your mind will no longer have any stress, because the cause of your stress or suffering is your desire. So this is what I would say tonight, and we'll stop now and let you ask some questions.
Okay, Ajahn. Okay, Ajahn. Thank you so much for the Dhamma. May I ask some questions from the talk? Like, because in Singapore the life is very stressful, so how to balance between our responsibility in life, like taking care of family, and to retire to practice, like what Ajahn advised. Thank you so much, Ajahn.
You will start from a small step first. You don't do it suddenly or at one time, totally. Like, you still go to work, but you will reduce the amount of time you spend working and spending time making you happy with your bodily activity. You want to slowly reduce them and increase the time for your Dhamma practice. First, you might meditate once a day in the morning or in the evening. Then you might do it twice, and you might extend the session of your meditation practice to longer. First, you might do half an hour, then you might expand it to 1 hour, and so forth. So this is something you will do gradually. And maybe on your day off, you might, instead of going out to have fun with your friends, you might want to devote your day off for the practice of meditation. See if you can have as much time as possible. But if you still have some commitment to your family, you might have to take your family to go shopping or to go sightseeing. You might have to do that. But when you don't have to, then try to have that time for your meditation. So you have to slowly increasing your Dhamma practice and slowly decreasing your other activities. And then eventually, I think when things are right for you, when you no longer have any responsibility to your family or to your work, then you might be able to practice full time. Okay.
Okay, Ajahn, thank you. So the next one from the talk also, Ajahn, like Ajahn mentioned about the chanda, which is also mean the desire, liking to do meditation. So how is this different from tanha, which also means desire, Ajahn? Thank you, Ajahn.
Desire are a neutral term. When you apply to things that are beneficial to you, we call it magga, the path to the cessation of suffering. When you apply to the thing that increases your stress, then it's called kilesa or tanha. Like when you have desire to meditate, the result that you get from meditation is peace of mind, which is beneficial to your mind. But when you have the desire to have fun, to go have happiness with your friends, or doing whatever you want to do, you will become addicted to these activities. And when you cannot do it, then you will become unhappy. See? So this is the difference between the word, the meaning of desire. There is beneficial desire and damaging desire. The Buddha teaches us to eliminate the three damaging desires because it causes stress in the mind. But the positive or the beneficial desire, he encourages us to develop. Like the desire to make dana, to give to charity, the desire to keep the 5 precepts, the 8 precepts, the desire to go to the temple, to meditate, to listening to Dhamma talk. These are all beneficial desire. But the desire to have happiness from seeing, hearing, eating, drinking, these are damaging desire because they are like being addicted to drugs. Once you become addicted, you cannot stop. Once you are addicted to drinking coffee, you cannot stop drinking coffee. You have to have coffee to make you happy. When you have no coffee, you are sad, you are not happy. So these are what the Buddha is trying to tell us, to stop the damaging desire, the desire for the sensual pleasure, the desire through your five ayatana, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body. These are damaging desire. The second damaging desire is called bhavatanha, desire to be rich, to be famous, to be respected by people, to be, anything that you want to be. Because when you cannot be what you want to be, you will become sad. Like you want to become a politician, you want to enter the parliament, so you run for election. When you lose, you become sad, you become unhappy. So this is the second desire, the desire to become something or somebody. The third desire is the desire not to become the thing that you don't like become sick, become old, become poor, for instance. These are the three damaging desires that the Buddha wants us to eliminate. He wants us to develop the positive desire, chanta, the desire to practice meditation, the desire to give up your money so that you can become a monk, desire to spend your whole life keeping the precepts and developing mindfulness, samadhi, and panya. These are positive desire, beneficial desire. Okay?
Okay, Ajahn, thank you so much. So we move on to the other questions. Is that okay for Ajahn?
Go ahead.
Okay. So the question is, there is a constant awareness of the arising and ceasing of aggregates, even when I'm not in samadhi. What do I do next, Ajahn?
See, when you are aware of the rising and falling of the aggregates, the objective of knowing this is to be aware of the aggregate that you are attached to, such as your body. Are you aware that your body is also arising and ceasing? Your body is constantly evolving, changing, and the eventual final destination of the body is death. This is something that you want to be aware of, so that you can tell your mind to let go, not to cling to the arising and cessation of the body. Because if you cannot let go, when the body has to cease, the mind will become very stressful. So you have to be aware of the object that is to your concern. You don't want to be aware of objects that is not to your concern. And the object that is to your concern is the object that you consider to belong to you. See? Anything that belongs to you, you will have the tendency to have the desire for them to be with you all the time. You don't want them to separate from you. So when you have this desire, you are creating stress for your mind. So you want to eliminate this desire by beware that this thing will eventually cease. They will eventually leave you. You will eventually leave them, so that you stop clinging to them. And then when they leave you, you will not feel any stress.
Okay, Ajahn. Thank you, Ajahn. So the next question is, can I practice mindfulness of feeling, mind and mental qualities directly and skip mindfulness of body? Thank you, Ajahn.
Mindfulness is usually developed through the mantra, through the body activity. Because when you first started, your mindfulness is very, very slow, very weak. You cannot watch your mind or your feeling. They are too subtle for the beginner. For the beginner, it's easier for them to use mantra or use the body, which you can see. With the feeling, sometimes there's no feeling, so where you gonna place your mindfulness? And when you have severe feeling, you cannot maintain your mindfulness anyway. When you have painful feeling, you lost all your mindfulness, because your desire will take over. And your desire will say, I want to get rid of this feeling. I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling terrible. So the mindfulness of Vedana and Dhamma is the second and third level of mindfulness. The first level is the mindfulness of the body. In the fourth Satipatthana Sutta, the Lord Buddha teaches first the mindfulness of body, then the mindfulness of feeling, then the mindfulness of the mind. So you have to go step by step. You cannot just go up to the highest level. Not unless you can do it. For instance, if you have strong, painful feeling, can you still remain calm and peaceful? If you can remain calm and peaceful, that means you have mindfulness. But when you cannot become calm and peaceful, and you start to become irrational, become erratic, become restless, then it means you don't have the ability to have mindfulness on your feeling yet. Understand?
Understand, Ajahn. So the next question, what is the reason for frequent mental chatter? I find that my mind tries to find something to fill the gap of empty space between thoughts. How to deal with this, Ajahn?
Your mind is constantly being pushed by your delusion. And your delusion tells you that you have to have something in order to make you happy, which is the opposite to the truth. The truth is you should not have anything because it will make your mind happy. But your delusion tells you that you need to have something all the time. So when your mind have nothing, you start to think of something. Find something to do, find something to see, find something to drink, find something to eat. So you are constantly pushed by your delusion to go and find one form of happiness or another form of happiness. That's why you keep moving from one thing to the next. You can never stay still. When you are forced to stay still, you become stressful because you are not used to being still. Okay?
Okay, Ajahn. Thank you, Ajahn. So our next question is, I achieve calmness and pleasure when I meditate, but there's no light nimitta. How do I progress in my meditation from here, Ajahn? Thank you.
Nimittas are optional. For some people, there might not be any nimitta at all, which is not important because nimitta are just byproducts of your meditation. The real product, the real goal of your meditation is emptiness, peace of mind, ubekkha, and knowing, seeing the knower. That's all you want. That's the fourth jhana. Before you enter that state, some people might see some vision, might hear something, might feel something. Sometimes you feel like you have goosebumps. Sometimes you might have tears coming out because you experience some feeling that you have never experienced before. But this thing that are anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca means they only happen and then they will disappear. Dukkha, if you attach to them, if you want them to be there all the time, when they're not there, you will not be happy. So this is not what you want. You don't want to be attached to nimitta. You just know them for what they are, that they come and they go, and they are not the real thing for you. The real thing is emptiness, peacefulness, calm, and knowingness. That's all you want. Okay.
Okay, Ajahn. So the question is related to the tears that this person said the friend has started to meditate in class the first time. Then the tears keep flowing down. Why is that, Ajahn?
Just as I said, sometimes when the mind experiences something, it can affect the emotion of the mind, and the mind will react accordingly. But this is not important. We should disregard it. Let it just be aware that it happens, and then eventually it will disappear. What you should do is concentrate on your meditation object. Don't be distracted by this event, because if you do, you will not move forward.
Okay, Ajahn. So the next question will be, I have been meditating for a long time now, and I'm able to calm my mind until there's no thoughts. However, joy and peace never arise. It's just quiet. And then I came out of my meditation. Where have I gone wrong, Ajahn?
I think you haven't gone deep enough yet. You only have maybe gone halfway into jhana. You haven't reached the fourth jhana. If you have reached that, you'll experience something that you never experienced before. It's like a life-changing experience. You'll you'll find that there's no other kind of happiness in this world that is comparable to this kind of happiness. If you meditate and you still don't feel any joy or happiness, it means that you haven't yet reached your goal. You should concentrate on your meditation object. Continue on meditating. Yeah. Don't stop. If you don't succeed this time, try the next time. Keep doing it. The reason why you haven't reached into that point yet is because the strength of your mindfulness is not strong enough to overcome the resistance. See, the mind is constantly being pushed by your desire to come out, to go to the things that you want to do, to see, to hear, and you use this mindfulness to push it back in. If your mindfulness is not strong enough, it cannot push it into the deepest level yet. So you have to develop more mindfulness. Keep on practicing more and more.
Okay, Ajahn. Thank you, Ajahn. So our next question. I'm practicing mindfulness of my mind, mental qualities, and feelings, and I can see them arising and changing clearly. Is there still a need for concentration? Thank you, Ajahn.
Yes, because you haven't yet developed any concentration. You haven't yet developed any jhana. All you're doing just watching your feeling and your mind, which it might be comparable to watching people coming and going. It doesn't make your mind peaceful or calm. You have to sit, close your eyes, and focus on your meditation object and push your mind into the deepest level. If you haven't yet experienced this life-changing experience, you haven't yet achieved anything in your meditation. Because if you haven't had this experience, this mental strength, you will not be able to develop vipassana in order to counter or eliminate your desire, which are the cause of your stress. So you need first to have this peace that you achieve from full concentration. Once you have this peace, you have this fullness, you have this happiness, you don't feel like you need anything or want anything. Then when your desire comes up, then you can easily get rid of it. Because you know you can live without them. You don't need them. But when you don't have this, then you will not be able to resist your desire. You can be watching your mind, watching your feeling. When you see an ice cream or you see a cup of coffee, you might not be able to resist that desire.
Okay, Ajahn. Thank you, Ajahn. So the next question will be, are there any observable characteristics of someone who is an Arya or at least one who has reached a stream entry? Thank you, Ajahn.
You have to be that first before you can see the other people. Because you need to have a standard to measure someone else. If you haven't have a standard, you cannot measure the other person. So you have to become a Sotapanna before you can know whether the other person is a Sotapanna or not. A Sotapanna cannot tell whether the other person is a Sakidakami or Anagami or an Arahant because it's higher than them. It's like a student who graduated from high school. He cannot tell a person who graduated from college because he doesn't know how to measure that person's knowledge yet. So you have to talk to that person also to be able to gauge how much they have achieved. First, you have to achieve first, because if you don't achieve and you talk to them, they can lie to you and you won't know the difference. But don't worry about the other person, whether they are an Arahant or not. It doesn't matter to you really. You should be more concerned about yourself, whether you're an Arahant or not. If you are not, then you should try to make yourself an Arahant. And the way to do it is to follow the teaching of the Buddha. If you listen to the teaching of other monks, and if you're not sure, then don't worry. The Buddha teaches you in the Kalama Sutta already that you don't have to believe what other monks tell you, even if you think they are your teacher. If the thing that they teach you you cannot prove, then don't listen to them. Don't believe them yet. The Buddha said you have to prove it to yourself that the thing that they teach you can eliminate the stress from your mind. Then you know that that person knows what he's talking about. If he teaches you something and you apply it in your practice and you achieve no result, then you can say maybe he's not telling you the truth, or maybe you're not practicing it correctly. So you have to be patient. You don't want to jump into conclusion. All right?
Okay, Ajahn. Thank you, Ajahn. So the next question, with regard to meditation, is it generally true that one should aim to meditate as long as possible before the kilesa set in? For example, after being able to sit for 1 hour, one should try to increase it to 1.5 hours and then 2 hours and so on. Thank you, Ajahn.
The amount of time that you will be able to sit depends on the strength of your mindfulness. If you have strong mindfulness, you can sit very long because you can enter into jhana very quickly. Once you're into jhana, it's like you're in timeless zone. You don't know the time because you don't feel anything, and you can sit for a long time that way. But if you haven't entered into jhana, you will have to experience all kinds of distraction, and this can disturb your meditation, and you will not be able to sit for long. So the important thing is to try to develop strong mindfulness first. Try to maintain mindfulness all day long, developing mindfulness all day long. Try to eliminate, stop thinking about things that you don't need to think about. And then your meditation will improve. It improves correspondingly to the improvement of your mindfulness.
Okay, Ajahn. So the next question will be about dana. How can I move up the ladder from dana to bhavana? I like to do dana and I'm doing it wholeheartedly, but I can't sit in meditation. How should I cultivate the bhavana practice from here, Ajahn? Thank you.
The reason why you want to do dana is to get rid of your money, your surplus money. Because when you have surplus money, sometimes you want to buy things, you want to go do some things. This will take away your time to meditate, to develop your mindfulness. So if you want to go for a holiday trip, instead of going, you spend that money on dana instead and go to stay in a temple. You have to force yourself to do these things and force yourself to develop mindfulness. It doesn't come on automatically, especially for those people who hasn't had any mindfulness previously. For some other people, they are fortunate, maybe in the past life, they have developed a certain amount of mindfulness. So for them to meditate might be a lot easier than for those who haven't yet developed any mindfulness. If you have no mindfulness at all, then you must force yourself to develop. And this is the reason why you want to do charity. Instead of going on a holiday for a week, you go to stay in a temple instead and spend your money paying the temple for the facility that you use, and then be alone and try to develop mindfulness all day long, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. And when you're in a temple and you're close to a teacher, you can ask them any question that you might come up. So this is what the real reason for charity, for dana, is for you to get rid of your surplus money so that it doesn't take away your time, and so you can have the time to go to be alone and to practice, to develop mindfulness. It also will help you to keep the precept, because when you give money to charity, you will become kind-hearted. You will think of the welfare of other people. You will not be selfish, so you will not want to hurt other people. When you don't want to hurt other people, you'll find keeping the 5 precepts very easy. But if you only think of yourself, you want to make money a lot so you can spend a lot for yourself, then you will not care for other people. Then you'll find that keeping the precept very difficult, and you'll find it to be a hindrance to your making the money, because you don't want, when you want to make quick and easy money, sometimes you have to cheat, sometimes you have to lie. So this is the purpose of dana, to help you to develop metta, compassion, loving kindness, to be less selfish, so that you will think of the welfare of other people, and then it will make you don't want to hurt them, so you can easily keep the 5 precepts. Once you can keep the 5 precepts, and your mind will become a lot calmer, more peaceful. If you cannot keep the precept, your mind will be constantly agitated by the bad things that you have done. You will feel worried that you might have to be caught, you have to pay for your karma, your bad karma. So if you can keep the precept, then you won't be doing any bad karma. Then your mind will be peaceful and calm, and it will be a lot easier for you to develop peace and calm, developing mindfulness. Because when you develop mindfulness, you want to go stay in a quiet place to be alone. But if you have done something bad, your conscience will always bother you, especially when you stay in the forest monastery. You might be worried about your bad karma might come and take you to pay for what you have done. So you might not be able to stay alone in a temple if you have bad conscience. So you want to prevent this by keeping the 5 precepts. And in order to be able to keep the 5 precepts, you have to be kind and caring for other people. So you have to give dana, be charitable, and you will then have the time to meditate. If you are selfish, you want to find happiness for yourself, so you go on a holiday instead of going to the temple. So you will never have the time to develop mindfulness, and you will never be able to bhavana successfully.
Okay, Ajahn. Thank you, Ajahn. So our next question: when I dana $5 or $10, my ego and attachment is small, but when I make donation of like $1,000, my ego and attachment is also getting bigger, and it's also applied to when I spend time in temple helping for an hour. So my ego is smaller, and when I spend time to help like more hours, so my ego is bigger. So how should I train myself in order to eliminate or reduce ego and to cultivate detachment from the dana that I make? Thank you, Ajahn.
When you do dana, you must do it altruistically. You don't want anything in return. You just want to feel good, that's all. People sometimes mistake, they think that by giving to charity, especially during the Buddhist people, they think giving to charity will make them richer, will have a happier, better life. This is not the result that you will get from giving to charity. The result is to give you more a sense of well-being, a sense of fullness, a sense of goodness in yourself. that you have done something selfless. You want to eliminate your ego. Giving dana is one way of cutting down your ego. So you find it hard because the more you give, your ego will become stronger in resisting your giving. But if you can win, then you means you have moved forward. See, so for instance, if you're used to giving $5 and you want to give $10 and you find it difficult, you must force yourself to do it. If you can do it, then you'll feel much better than you giving the $5. And the next time you want to give more than that. And you can do this by asking yourself, do you really need to keep this money or not? If you don't need to keep the money, why keep it for? If you're not going to use it anyway, when you die, you cannot take it with you. Why not give it away? When you give it away, you will have a better sense of feeling in yourself. You will feel more, you will feel proud of yourself, that you have done something that you could not do before. You should also think of the great people like the Lord Buddha. All these people, they all have to give everything that they have. The Buddha was a prince, and he was willing to give up his princely life and go live like a beggar. If he cannot do this, he could not become a Buddha. If you want to be able to meditate and successful in your meditation, you have to be willing to give up everything. So by giving gradually at first, it's just a step-by-step approach to get you more accustomed to giving, to sacrificing, to letting go of your attachment, to eliminate your ego. These are the things that is important if you want to move forward. Okay?
Okay, Ajahn. Thank you, Ajahn. So our next question, intuition or gut feel, is there any mention in the Dhamma with regard to this? What is their equivalent in Buddhism? Thank you, Ajahn.
See, whatever you think or you feel, they are the products of your past karma. This is the equivalent. The way you have certain intuition, that's because you have been doing something or feeling something or thinking about something until it becomes second nature. Sometimes it's hidden in your subconsciousness. Sometimes it will suddenly come up if there's something that triggers it to come up. But they are all considered to be the result of your past karma, good and bad. Do I answer the question?
Yes, Ajahn. So our next question is, what will Ajahn advice be for someone who is about to die? Will Ajahn advice be different if the advice is given to a meditator and a non-meditator? Thank you, Ajahn.
Well, it depends on how much the person can do. If he cannot meditate, if he cannot understand the three characteristics, if you tell them that the body is not you, it doesn't belong to you, you have to give it up. If they cannot do this, then you might ask them to calm their mind, stop thinking about death, just chanting or use a mantra. If they cannot do this, maybe listen to a Dhamma talk, just to get their mind away from thinking about death, because they are not ready for death yet. Or you can tell them to reflect on the good thing that they have done, the charity that they have done. Just think that dying is just like going to sleep. And when you awake, you will get a new body. This is like the changing of the body. When you die, you go to sleep. When you wake up with a new body. You become a baby. So it depends on the person. But I usually try to tell them everything so that they can decide what to do. Because sometimes I cannot tell what they need, so I try to tell them many different ways. Okay.
Okay, Ajahn. Sorry. So our next question is a follow-up from the last week question that we are advised to avoid foolish people. What if they are our parents or our siblings? Because last week Tajan say if our spouse, then we can divorce them. But if our parents or siblings, we cannot divorce them. Thank you.
Well, if you can live in a different place, move out. If you don't have to live with them, move out. But if you have to stay with them, don't let them influence you. That's all. If they want to tell you to do things that you know is not good, you just don't have to do it. It's not disrespectful or not grateful. If your parents tell you to cheat or lie, you don't have to do it. If they ask you to drink alcohol, you don't have to do it. You can live with people, but you must not let them influence you to go in the wrong way. But it will be easier just not to live with them. But if you have to live with them, then you just have to make sure that you don't let them influence you or lead you to go into the wrong way. Okay?
Okay, Tajan. So our next question. Sometimes I'm affected by doubt. What I mean is occasionally when I make a decision about something, then thereafter some time the thought will arise questioning the decision that I have made, trying to convince me that I made the wrong decision. Why is this, Tajan?
Because when you do, you're not sure what you're doing. You don't know the reason behind doing it. So before you do anything, you should think carefully. Make sure you know exactly what you expect from your action. Once you know, then you won't have any doubt. But if you're not sure what you're doing, then suddenly you will have some doubt come up. So think before you do anything. Okay?
Okay, Tajan. So our last question for today. Where does the mind go? Where does the mind go when one is sleeping? Thank you, Tajan.
See, the mind and the body are not really in the same place. The mind has its own place of existence, and the body has its own place of existence. Let me give you an example. The mind is like the controller of a spacecraft. You send a spacecraft into space. The controller is on Earth, while the spacecraft is in space. But you communicate through radio wave. This is the same way the mind communicates with the body through what we call vijnana. Vijnana will receive all the data from the body, such as the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and mind. And then the mind will then use sankhara, which is thinking, to instruct the body what to do. So the mind is in what we call in the celestial world or in the spiritual world, while the body is in the physical world. The mind is in contact with the body through the vijnana. So this is like the spacecraft and the controller. The controller stay on Earth while the spacecraft is in space. So when the body goes to sleep, it means that the mind and the body stop communicating temporarily. So the mind sometimes will go to do whatever it likes to do. Sometimes it will think of the past. it will go into some places that it might have visited before. It depends. You don't know. Like when you dream, sometimes you're not sure what you're dreaming about, whether you dream about this life or last life. Yeah. Or sometimes you don't dream at all. Sometimes the mind just wants to rest. It stops thinking. But the mind and the body is never in the same place. Should anything happen to the body now, should there be a nuclear bomb in Singapore right now and all the bodies are all incinerated, the mind will still remain the same. The mind of everybody will remain the same. The mind is indestructible because the mind is not in this world. Even if this world should explode and this world no longer exists, the mind is still existing. And the mind, if it has any desire, it will go look for a new body in a different earth, in a different world. Like the people who have a spacecraft, if they lose this spacecraft, they'll build a new spacecraft, and then they'll send a new spacecraft into space to explore some more. So this is like the body and the mind. Understand?
Understand, Ajahn. So that will be our last question for today. Thank you for the Dhamma and then answering all our questions and our doubts. So today we have Sebastian here with us. He would like to say something.
Can I see his face? I've never seen him.
Yeah, Ajahn. Okay, please. Okay, this is Sebastian.
How are you?
Good. Feeling well. I thought I should.
Have you have full recovery?
Yes, Kap. But it'll take another few more months at least, Kap. But I thought I should say hello and thank you very much for helping us and for your compassion to teach all of us here. Thank you so much, Kap.
Okay. Glad to see you.
Thank you. Glad to
Hope
be
you
here.
get well.
Kap. Thank you, Kap.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn. Finally.
Okay, finally, let me remind you that you are the mind, that you are not the body. Don't worry about the body. You will lose your body one day. So take care of your mind. And the way to take care of the mind is to bhavana, to develop mindfulness, samadhi, and panya. That's all you have to do, because the mind will be with you all the time. The mind is your real possession. But right now, it doesn't have that thing to look after it. It doesn't have the Dhamma necessary to make the mind peaceful and calm and wise. The mind is still deluded. The mind still thinks the body is the mind. So this is what you want to do. When you bhavana, you will eventually get to the state where you'll see the mind and the body are two separate things. In the meantime, just keep reminding yourself that I'm not the body. I'm going to lose the body one day, sooner or later. But losing the body is not important because I can always get a new body. I have lost so many bodies before. So don't worry about losing the body. Worry about not having the Dhamma to look after your mind. Okay, I'll give you the Anumodana. Ya tha warik waha pura parik purenti sakarang eva meva ito tinang petanang upakapati ichitang pachitang tumhang kipa meva samichatu saphe purentu sangkapa janto panara so ya tha manichoti ara so ya tha sapiti yo vivajantu saparoko vinasatu mate pavatavan sukhiti kayuko pava apivatanasi litsa nityang vuttha pajayino jataro dhamma vatanti ayuvano sukhang phalang.
Sadhu, Ajahn.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll invite Sangha to pay respect to Ajahn first, Ajahn.
Go ahead.
Brothers and sisters, this is a come together to get respect to Ajahn. First round. Second round. Third round.
Okay. Good night.
Good night,
May
Ajahn.
Dhamma be in your dream.
Good night, Ajahn. Thank you so much for the Dhamma. Thank you, Ajahn. See Ajahn next week.